Okay, so today we're going to talk about equations of circles. This is in the coordinate plane, and it's day 3 of section 12/13. So we have an equation for a circle in the coordinate plane. It's going to look different than anything you've probably ever seen before, so I'm going to write it down first. So if we see an equation that looks like this, we automatically know where the center is and what the radius is based on the format of the equation. If it doesn't look like that, if it's in a different form, then we cannot as easily pick out the center and the radius. So this form, if it's in this exact form, r is the radius, so if this was, say, 36, the radius would be 6. And these two numbers tell us where the center of the circle is. So it's at HK. Notice that these are minus H and minus K, and the numbers for the center are positive. So it's the opposite of whatever these two are. So looking down here, find the center and radius for each circle. We have x minus 2 squared plus y minus 5 squared equals 16. We just have one number on the right, and then we have our x plus or minus something squared, and then y plus or minus something squared. So it looks just like this one. And we can easily pick out the center and the radius. The center is at HK. So that's this number and then that number. So here, that's going to be 2 and 5. Notice that it's minus 2 and minus 5. And so I changed the signs to positive, positive. This is r squared. So r is going to be the square root of 16, which equals 4. Next one, x plus 1 squared and then y minus 7 squared. So this one looks just like these. The signs are the same. I know that this is going to be 7. The difference here is the sign. Here I had minus 2. Here it's positive 2. So I need to change the sign of that 1 to be negative. That's what my center is going to be. And my radius is the square root of 49, which is 7. And then last one, it's just x squared, which is exactly the same thing as x plus 0 squared. So that's just 0, and this is going to be 10. My radius is the square root of 30. That doesn't simplify to an even number like these two did, so I'm going to just leave it. We can also write the equation of a circle if we're given this information. So the center is at 3, negative 2. So I'm going to do that one first. So I'm going to plug in 3 and negative 2 for h and k. So I have x minus 3 squared plus y minus negative 2 equals the radius squared. So all I'm going to do here is simplify this. X minus 3 squared stays like that. But here I have minus and negative, so that's going to become y plus 2. And 4 squared I'm going to just write as 16. And then finally, the center here is at 0, so I'm going to say x minus 0 squared, y minus 4 squared, and then a point on the circle is 2, 8. So I have to find the distance from 0, 4 to 2, 8, and that's going to be my radius. So down here, the distance, we've done this a million times, the square root of x1 minus x2, so that's 2 minus 0, plus the y's, subtracted from each other. It's going to give me 4 plus 16, so that's the square root of 20. So that's the radius. I'm going to plug that in, square root of 20, and square it. What happens when you square a square root is that it just becomes what's under the square root sign. So a more simplified, better version of that is going to be x squared, because the minus 0 is pointless to write, plus y minus 4 squared equals 20. And that is it.